Welcome back to the Mookie Chilson channel, and you are looking live at another cue card. This is an outline, a rundown of what we're going to talk about in the order in which we're going to discuss it. And this is a special season's greetings spectacular here at the Mookie Chilson World Headquarters. We're going to go down the chimney for some cheer from our chums, some great gifts that have come my way by way of Tony the Southern Collector, Eddie's Cardboard Chaos, and Brent Richards from Houston, my man. There is a very special Mookie Minute called Yogi Comes Home that I have two items that are going to go straight to the shelf in the museum after I finish this video. I hope you will enjoy it. It's special to me. We have a Philly show recap, a rendezvous in the city of brotherly love, which is capped off by an epic Clemens card purchase and an investigation that it was kicked off after I purchased this card. I hope you will find it as interesting as I do, and if not, that's okay too, but hopefully you'll stick around to the end. But let's go down the chimney for some cheer from our chums. Down the chimney chum cheer. I'm regretting writing that, but I'm sticking with it anyway. My man Tony the Southern Collector, I'm sure you've seen his videos. They're epic. He's got epic cards. He's got a great collection from Cracker Jacks to T206s to Lou Gehrig beauties. He's got it all. But what he also has is he did an episode a couple episodes back about his childhood collection that he has recently unearthed, and the way he stored and organized things and the stories of how he used to get his cards. It's a great episode from Tony. And one of the things he unearthed in his childhood collection was this. And he sent it up here to New Jersey. This is a Donruss 1988 Puzzle and Cards New York Mets team collection. And what it amounts to is a cardboard stock, basically, effectively uncut sheets of your 1988 National League Eastern champions, New York Mets. And you can see here some of the great Mets that were on that team: Strawberry, Hojo, Greg Jeffries, which everybody wanted back then. And you've got the guy everybody wants now, Mookie Wilson. Kevin Elster, rated rookie. It's got a Stan Musial unpunched puzzle sheet back there. Super cool, super appreciated. It has a special place in my collection now. So thank you to Tony for your kind generosity on that. Now let's move to Eddie's Cardboard Chaos. Eddie is a guy whose videos, I watch every video that Eddie makes, from his sort of drive-in chats to his TTMs to his amazing collections of Harvey Haddocks and the Seattle Mariners. Eddie always has something fun and interesting and great to say, and he's one of those people who have been here for so long on YouTube that I'm so glad that he's there to keep the line on for us, and I appreciate everything he does. And he sent me, I met him for the first time in Cleveland this year, a beautiful card with my man Snoopy and Woodstock sitting on his belly. 'Tis the season to pin some cards. Mookie, good to get to know you in 2024 and hang in Cleveland. I hope there's room on the pin board for this card. Best wishes. See you in Chicago, Eddie. Now, what is he talking about? This is the card that Eddie sent me. Koosman shuts the door. This is the 1970 Topps celebration of those miracle Mets. The Sporting News, Game 5, Jerry Koosman shut the door on those mighty Baltimore Orioles. David defeated Goliath, and the youngster who had this card put it up on his wall with a thumbtack. You can see the telltale Corona imprint of a thumbtack up there. You can see it there. And so now this is going to go up on my pinhole corkboard. Thank you to Eddie. This is really special. I did not have this one, and I will cherish it. So thank you, Eddie, for that. Let's move on to Brent Richards. Now, Brent Richards is another guy who shows cards that I've never seen before, cards I would never have thought existed on planet Earth. He's got them all. I think he has every card ever made from like 1984 on. He's just an epic collector with epic videos, and I know you will love if you don't subscribe to him already. And Brent is, of course, giving away his customs that he made of himself, which came my way. There he is on his 1984 Donruss style card. You can scan the QR code and go to Brent's channel. This is 30 out of 300. He also sent up this cardboard Inception Nolan Ryan. Nolan knows Bo, with Bo in there in his classic card. Super cool. In addition to that, he sent, of course, Brent knows, he gave me a pinhole version, which I will swap out and put up on the board in his beautiful Mag Pro. And Brent and I are both, of course, by the way, that's a 1 of 1. Scan the QR code. He's an Astros fan, and I'm a Mets fan, and this is one of our shared players. Of course, Mike Hampton, who came to the Mets from the Astros in 1999, I believe after the 99 season. Roger Cedeno and Octavio Dotel went to the Astros, and the Mets got Hampton, and Hampton helped take them to the World Series. And Brent was there to banquet and dine with Mike Hampton and took this picture, which is super cool. And it's a 2 of 2. And so Brent and I each share this card, which is extremely cool. But Brent wasn't done. He also gave me this TCMA oversized Tom Seaver puzzle back card, which I did not have and will go into my Tom Seaver PC for sure. And finally, the big one. This is New York Mets great Hall of Famer Yogi Berra, and what I believe, and Brent seems to think, is also a team issue card or image from probably the 70s when Yogi was managing the team. But this is super cool, and Brent knows I have a special place in my heart for Yogi Berra, and that leads us to, so thank you to Brent. Let me just say that. And speaking of Yogi Berra, one of the cards I wanted to pick up this year for sure was a 1949 Bowman Yogi Berra, his second year card. It is part of a set that I love, and I love Yogi. Why do I love Yogi? Not just because of his illustrious career as a coach and manager of the New York Mets. He had a great preamble to that as a Yankee for a while. Before that, he was a Newark Bear in New Jersey. He is a member of the New Jersey Hall of Fame. He chose to live in New Jersey and play baseball in New York. And anybody that does that is one of my favorites. I have met Yogi several times. I have been to his museum. I think the world of the guy. And so that's why it was really special for me to pick up one of these. This is that 1949 Bowman card. There he is looking up with the red background behind him. Just a beautiful card in my estimation. It's a little bit pushed in. This is the same image as his 1948 Bowman, but I just like this one a little bit better myself. And again, it's a beautifully centered card, well enough centered for me. It's got rounded corners. I picked this up from a gentleman who told me this was his father's card. He kept it in a tin, and so he pulled it out, decided to get it graded, and sold it to me. It's not a high dollar card, particularly in this grade, but again, I'm thrilled to be the sort of second generation of ownership of this card. And you can see the little paper loss there. And again, I love Yogi. And so this will go right up on the shelf in the museum next to my other great Yogi pickup that I wanted to talk about. Let's put this here. Hold on for a second. And my other Yogi pickup is here. And you can see this is one of those Dortmund postcards. And there's Yogi swinging as a New York Yankee at Yankee Stadium way back in the day. And this is in a PSA label, and I will turn it around and show you that the back of this postcard is autographed. Best wishes, Yogi Berra. So the person from the Bronx, New York, sent this out to Yogi Berra. He said, okay, I'll sign it. Best wishes, Yogi Berra, and sent it back to him. But the reason this sort of stood out to me, and particularly is an amazing item, is because I know when it was signed, January 22nd, 1953. So sometime in January, Yogi went to his post office and picked up his mail and saw that this gentleman in the Bronx wanted his autograph. Yogi took it, signed it, and sent it back, and it was postmarked January 22nd, 1:30 p.m., 1953, in Westwood, New Jersey. Now, Yogi Berra lived in Woodcliff Lake, New Jersey. Westwood, New Jersey is an adjacent town in the 07675 area code. And I know that because I live in Westwood, New Jersey. And so this is a very special card for me because Yogi, I like to think, was at the post office where I mail my packages, and was picking this up and putting it into the mail bin. So I just love this card. The idea that Yogi Berra and I shared a little location there for a little bit makes me feel special about this. And so this is why Yogi comes home. I love this card and I'm super excited to own it. And so there is that. So let's put that there. Let's turn the corner now to the Philly show. There was a rendezvous in the city of brotherly love. My buddy Sammy Thunder came over to New Jersey to pick up Pete, 50/50 Vintage Pete, and drive us down to the Philly show. He was such a gracious host and driver, and so appreciated for that, Sammy. We had a great time in the car on the way down. We had a great time when we met our friends like Rocket Rick J18 and Tony from TJ is Online. Joe from Four Soft Corners, Dan from Dan's Vintage Baseball PC. I got to meet Ray from Philly for the first time. When in Philly, you got to meet Ray. And I shook his hand and said, we got to work this year. Dennehy Seaver's got to get in that Baseball Card Hall of Fame, so we'll work on that. Keith and Andy from the Pastime Picks podcast were there. A couple of super fun guys that it was great to meet them as well. And finally, Andrew, Enough Said Cards was there. Now, Andrew has been a stalwart at the Philly show, as he will tell you. And he was there for all 3 days. It was great to meet up with him. And I remember meeting him last time. You may recall meeting him when I met him last time because he helped me bring home this beauty, this 1888 Duke & Sons Abraham Lincoln Great Americans. One of my favorite cards in my collection. And Andrew was the wind beneath my wings, helping me decide between different versions of this. And without his guidance, I don't think I would have maybe gotten any one of them, let alone the right one. And so Andrew was a great help, and it was great to see him again. And I knew Andrew, who has this set, was bringing one of the cards that I was looking for from this set. And Andrew actually and I came to a deal on this one. This is the Clemens card that I teased earlier. Not Roger Clemens, this is Samuel Clemens, aka Mark Twain. And this is the 1888 beautiful Duke & Sons Mark Twain card. And so this is my second in a version in the set. And as you can see, one of the things I love about this card, as I told Andrew, and Andrew agreed that he thinks the original owner of this card was using the checklist on the back. You can see Samuel L. Clemens is crossed off, Robert Fulton, and H.W. Beecher there. This was in somebody's album at some point with some adhesive there. But again, how can you beat the beautiful front of this card? As Dan from Dan's Vintage Baseball Card PC said to me, this is a Playing Days Mark Twain. This card came out after Tom Sawyer and before Huck Finn, and it's just amazing. And one of the things that I really started thinking about after I had this card finally in my hand was, what is the image depicted on the top there? We know it's Samuel L. Clemens on the bottom, and there's the Duke & Sons. But what does that represent up top? I know, again, like I said, Tom Sawyer was out at this time, but that doesn't look like any depiction from a Tom Sawyer novel. Those are some high peaks and mountains. I know Tom Sawyer took place in Missouri, where Mark Twain grew up. And I just wasn't sure. So there you have the facsimile signature. So I started digging in and looking. And one of the resources I started looking at was the Met Museum. This is where Jefferson Burdick's copy of this card, which I happen to now own. Jefferson Burdick and I each have the same card, or at least the Met Museum does, from Jefferson Burdick. And I thought this would be a great resource. And of course, it doesn't exactly describe what the tippy top of that card is. Why is there a guy hiking in the mountains with a staff and a stick? And you can see some of the details, and you see there he is. Credit line, Jefferson Burdick Collection, gift of Jefferson R. Burdick. His is in a little bit nicer condition than mine. And so I figured, okay, well, now I got to figure out, what did Mark Twain write about the mountains? Did Tom Sawyer ever go to the mountains, to the Rockies or anything? And he did not. But what he ended up doing, well, let me show you just a close-up image. This is the close-up image of that card. And you can see there, I discovered that Mark Twain in 1880 wrote a book, a travelogue diary called The Tramp Abroad. So I looked that up. Okay, he wrote about the mountains. And as soon as I clicked on the image for that book, there it is, The Tramp Abroad. Let's increase the size here. Can you see that? So this image from the front cover of Mark Twain's 1880 travelogue diary, like his Anthony Bourdain trip through Europe in the Matterhorn. It's like Conan O'Brien goes, abroad. Is the image that W. Duke and Sons used to put at the top of their card representing Mark Twain. So really super cool. This was the investigation I was talking about. I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole, but it didn't take too long to figure it out. And I'm super happy with this card. I'm super happy that you joined me on this great, incredible voyage from the Matterhorn in the Alps to New Jersey with Yogi Berra and beyond. And so thank you for joining me here. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your efforts. I wish you season's greetings from the Mookie Chilson World Headquarters, and I bid you adieu. Thank you.